In previous part, we have already set up our project. We already created one index.html and some bootstrap CSS with CSS also, as you can see. So we need to create one JSP for student login and for admin login. So you can use here HTML also, but why I'm using JSP? Handling with JSP is very simple, also very convenient, and you can customize it easily. So I'm going to with this student login page first. As I told you, I already created this part. Let me show you this student login method. So all these things are HTML tags, as you can see. These are the HTML tags. This to this till this also, because this is already CSS part, not HTML part. So I don't want to include another CSS file here. So I just embedded style thing here inside Java, HTML or JSP page only. You can easily use CSS, HTML plus Java using this. So this will be very helpful to create student login page, as I created already. So this is basically linked with style sheets and everything, as you can see. And this is title student login. So main part is about all these things. So it will print this student login and everything. Font color is red. For which part? So if our I'm going to specify message it this message later. But what I'm doing, this request.get parameter is null. Basically there is something anomaly, like for username or password are different. It will show that username and passwords are incorrect. So for that purpose we can use this part. So for displaying this, you can use Java program. I am using here Java program inside HTML. So it is JSP page. Similarly, for welcome or something message, I can put this using JSP. I did this. So this is another form action I used here. So as you can see, this is validate students. If I want to use default package, and I will not mention this part, oes.controller. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to create sub packages inside online examination system package. So why I'm doing this? Because for the database fetching and executing data, I will create another for student and admin, both different servlets. Then for validate students and validate admins, I'm going to create another things. For quiz purpose, I'm going to take one another servlet also. So it will create tremendous amount of what we can say servlets. So using default package, it's not very helpful. Why? For the managing purpose, bug fixing and everything. So for the nice project management, you should create packages within then sub packages, meaningful sub packages you can create. So what is the controller contents? Controller contains all the controlling parts like login page, sign up page, validate page, everything. So I mentioned it here. Later I will create this part with method post, and I created one form method username. Always remember this should be meaningful part, and password this. If I click exit, it should go to index.html. Otherwise, it will go to the login part if validate student is correct. So this is all about these things. So we are done with student login. Then admin login JSP, which is basically similar to the student login. But remember, here is an admin login with some another message I am going to print, and action is validate admin. So let us see what is basics of JSP. So JSP, as I told you, is nothing but Java language inside HTML page. So JSP is used to create web applications just like servlets technology. And it's very useful. As you can see, I just concatenate the Java program inside the HTML to request.get parameter. So as you can see, if you know the Java servlet part, if that request.parameter is null, it should print that value. So its language is similar like Java, but there are some different tags, as you can see. So what is the advantages of JSP? Our advantages of JSP is basically extension to the Java servlets. So we can use all the features of servlets in JSP. In addition, you can create implicit object, predefined tags, expression language. You can also use HTML, CSS. As you can see, I just created style sheet inside JSP only. So you can do. easy to maintain because JSP is easily managed, because we can easily separate our business logic with presentation logic. So business logic is basically backend, presentation logic is basically UI. So you can choose very mix our things. But in Servlet, what is things in doing? Servlet is only pure for business and with presentation. So it mix the business logic also and presentation logic also. Fast development, no need to recompile and redeploy. If JSP pages is modified, we don't need to redeploy, compile all the project. But Servlet codes need to update it again and again and recompile. So here for this project, we are going to create servlets also and JSP. So consider while using the JSP, no need to redeploy it again. But for the servlet part, you have to redeploy, recompile everything. So you will see that I'm recompiling and rebuilding the project again and again, but it's just for the servlet codes. So what is the life cycle of JSP page? So if you know the life cycle of Java, it's similar to the JSP basically. Translation of JSP page, compilation of JSP page. So translation of JSP page basically is separating the HTML tags and JSP tags. Compilation of JSP, for that compilation of Java file. Class loading for the loader class. Instantiation if you created any objected or something inside that JSP. Then initialization of JS, that's methods again. Then the request processing. When it's done, all things class loading, we have to process that request, and destroy is for the end. You can see JSP is that ended here. If we create login page, JSP logic is ended here. Similar like that for that purpose. So our life cycle is translation, compilation, class loading, instantiation, initialization, request processing, destroy. As simple as that. So no need to require all these things, like you should not remember this, but this is very important part you should remember, because if you have some errors while compiling, then no need to check for your syntax or anything for that. Like if you have some errors, like logical errors, like class loading errors, no need to check for translation and that part. You can directly check for its request is processing or not. If request is processing, if request is not processing at that part, like class is loading and everything is loading, but request is not processing, so there is some error with our database or something like that, you can check. So I will show in the pictorial manner here. So JSP translator, then servlet file, then it will compile, it will create one class file, it will load to the JRE, Java Runtime Environment, then servlet objects, then buffer, that is dynamic content. Actually buffer is for loading that page step by step. If you have loaded all the pages inside the server, as we are loading only the on the localhost, so our machine will take all the, or our computer will take all the load of that thing. But what this buffer will do, it will create some stack of pages and it will load it by time to time. So servlet JSP takes more time than servlet for loading purpose. So but its time or we can say the code complexity while writing the JSP is very easy. So most of the times we prefer JSP over the Java servlet. So in the further part, I will tell you about the JDBC connection inside JSP and everything. So let us move to our this thing. So as I told you, we have already created an admin login part. Let us check for the validate student part. So no need to worry how we can create. Inside the source package, just right click new and create Java package. As your name, I choose OES, online examination system. Inside that OES, I'm going to create 3 sub packages. OES controller for the controlling part, OES model for deploying all the model types, like if you have some DB database parts and everything, like if you are, this is validating just part, but storing part and everything I'm going to use OES DB for database management and that connection part, everything. So I separated these 2 different parts. So let us see how we can create validate student. So this is our package. I'm importing this. You can just import like this also, import java.io.star also. So no need to write this again and again. So it will take part of that always. So let me delete this part also, because for writing these are some default things you can check here. So okay, so this is all about these things. So OESDB, and I'm going to create some part here, admin for the database, student for the student database, admin DAO for that information, student DAO for that information. I'm going to use inside the model. So we will create in the next part. So this is all about these things. Always remember, you can all use this also, because I print everything again and again here for the Java servlet. What you can do is you can just put star here and you can check this, but for simpler purpose I'm putting this all the files. I will print here importing all libraries. If you have some errors with Java X part, you can go with the libraries and you have to load the Java X part here. So as you can see, I already loaded inside this JDK this part, Java X part. If not loaded, just click here, right, add jar folder, download the Java X from that purpose and open it. So this is Java X, jar is loaded, so no need to worry it will show the error or not. Error will remove, and IDE will take care of that Java X part also. So inside this I will tell in the next part how we can choose this do post and everything method. So do post is method is same. I'm requesting that parameter and I'm using this validate part here, and some with status and something instructions then to this part. So I will tell you in the next part how we can create this, and also the validate admin part. So thank you for this, and remember, always create some meaningful packages name and some files to the JSP as I created.